It's a new year, and right now there are many people that are taking a break from alcohol for a month, a practice known as Dry January. Now, is this something that you should be thinking about doing? That's what I want to talk about today. So let's get started. So what exactly is Dry January? Right? Dry January is a concept where you abstain from drinking any alcohol for the month of January, right? So you're just going to be dry for that particular month. Now, why do people do this? Well, they do it for a couple of different reasons. The first is because it's a trend that people do. And personally, I think that that is one of the dumbest reasons to do anything. Just because it's trending on TikTok or Instagram or any social media or news outlet is never really a reason to do anything at all. So that's one reason. Second reason is you might have just gone hard during the holiday season, right? There was from Thanksgiving through New Year's. I always say it's a tough season because there tends to be a lot of eating, there tends to be a lot of drinking, there tends to be a lot of parties, maybe staying up later than we normally would, getting less sleep than we normally would. So it becomes a really tough thing, and so therefore people feel like they need to do a reset on their bodies, right? So that's what they're going to do. We're going to stop drinking, and we're going to allow our body to, reset itself. I'm also not a big fan of this because of the fact that our bodies are just absolutely amazing, and they know what to do, right? Our body knows better than we do. It knows how to cleanse itself. It knows how to keep itself running well. For the most part, periodically we get like autoimmune diseases and stuff like that where the body attacks itself. But for the most part, for the majority of us, our bodies run fairly well. So they don't really need us impeding on that, right? So if we think about things like cleanses or dry Januaries and stuff like that, we're trying to help our body out. Now, the reality is our bodies don't need us to help. They need us to, not impede it from doing what it knows how to do. And that's one of the things. So lots of food, lots of alcohols, that just makes the body's job so much harder to do what it needs to do. So that's another reason why, is a lot of times we feel like we need to help our bodies out. The last reason is, maybe you've just been drinking a bit on the heavy side for quite a while, and so you're trying to take a break from that and, not reset yourself, but reset yourself mentally, not physically, getting rid of that drinking mindset. Sometimes we have people that are, just heavy everyday drinkers. We also have people that are heavy social drinkers. So you may not drink a lot normally, but then when you go out, you tend to hit a little bit harder than you normally would, right? So that would be a third reason why you might think about doing, a dry January. Now, in all these instances, there's not really, in my opinion, great reasons behind all this. Like I said, if you're just doing something because it's trendy, that's not a great reason. If you're trying to reset your body, like I said, your body can do that on its own. It doesn't need your help. If you're drinking too much, I mean, this is a serious conversation you need to have yourself, or maybe with a professional. Taking a month off may or may not work well for you, right? So you may be able to reset yourself mentally and not drink the same way. Or you might just take a month off and then go right back at it the same way that you had been before, right? I know someone who, once they start drinking, it's never just one beer. It's always got to be multiples. There's that discipline of being able to moderately drink. Now, why is any of this a topic of discussion anyway? It's because alcohol is terrible for our bodies. It's just really, really terrible. It's a toxin. It's really hard for your body to break it down, particularly as we get older. You may not have the same amount of enzymes to break down. Your liver has to work even harder. This is why as we get older, it becomes harder and harder for us. Your tolerance may seem to, diminish. You're like, I don't understand. When I was in my 20s, I used to drink all night. Now in my 50s, I'm like having problems. Yes, this is what happens. Your body doesn't handle it as well anymore. I am a perfect example of that. I was a very, very heavy drinker when I was in my early 20s and then stopped. Not completely. Well, I did for a little while, but then nobody likes a quitter. So I got back in, and I'm very moderate in my drinking. I'm never going to tell anybody not to drink because that would be hypocritical of me. I have a rum collection of over 120 different rums in the house. I'm never going to tell people don't drink, but you need to be mindful of it. Depending on your age, depending on how you handle alcohol. For me now, if I drink too much, I just sleep terrible. Sleep is very important to me. So these are things that we need to, think about, like how is my body responding to alcohol? Maybe that's more of a topic than doing like a dry January. Maybe we don't need to take a month off. Maybe we need to take much longer off and just, figure out when is a time where I can drink and when is a time where I really shouldn't drink. I know people have gone, through menopause, and with the hot flashes, the alcohol, exasperates it. It just makes it that much worse. So they tend to stop drinking, and then you might have something like once in a while. So here's all the reasons why we might do a dry January, right? So going back to my original question, is dry January something that you should be thinking about? If you want to, sure. I don't really see a significant point in it. I don't think it's good for a reset for your body. I do think you will feel better if you do it. Well, and that's because much like cleanses and everything, everybody always touts the health benefits of them. But the reality is, it's like you stopped bad behavior for a month or a couple of weeks or whatever, and allowed your body to do what it needs to do. So of course you feel better. So as a reset, don't really think of it as a reset. Think about maybe just giving your body a break is more of an issue. If you're doing it because of the fact that you do feel like you've been drinking a little bit too hard, well, really have that conversation with yourself and think about, do I have an issue here? Is this something that I really need to concern myself with? And I'm not saying that you're a raging alcoholic, although you might be, I don't know you. But even if you are like a binge drinker, that is totally not good for our bodies at all. So be mindful of that. Just think about what's my relationship to alcohol, and is it something that I feel like is healthy for me? Or is it something that I feel like is detrimental to my overall health and well-being? So these are some things that you need to think about. Now, if you are going to do a dry January, just going cold turkey is not necessarily the best for a lot of people. You still end up having, instances where you're having dinner parties or you're going out to eat. And, or you're going to a bar to meet friends. Having a plan is a really, really big thing too. I mean, just making sure that you're around people that will acknowledge that this is what you're doing and be supportive of it, rather than being somebody like, oh, come on, you can have just one beer. It's like, there's always those people in your lives that just won't accept it, right? So you need to make sure if you have friends that are supportive, those are the people you want to be around for this month. If you have friends that aren't going to be supportive, well, maybe you just don't see them until February. Right, so keep that in mind. Also, there's a lot of non-alcoholic options out there now, right? So not only just beers, there are quite a few non-alcoholic beers out there now. This is becoming a very, more popular trend of people not drinking alcohol. So there are a lot of non-alcoholic beers, and most establishments will have at least one option. There's also a lot of non-alcoholic spirits that are out there now. There's just I have a few in the house by a company known as Drink Monday. Their stuff is okay. All of it is okay, right? It's none of it's is ever going to fool you, right? You're never going to have like a non-alcoholic mezcal and go, oh my God, this is just as good as the regular thing. It's just not. So you may need to doctor it up. Maybe just think about doing like mixed drinks more so than anything. But have a plan. Make sure you're around people that will support you on this. Make sure that you have options of things to drink if you're in a social situation, so this way you're not tempted, and you can follow through and really stick with it. An accountability buddy is always a big thing. I'm always talking about this. That's always another thing. Also, try to find establishments that have a mocktail program. I know if you live in Central Jersey, New Jersey, where I live, down in Asbury, there's a place called Catbird. Fantastic pizza, but they have a mocktail program. So that's also something to think about. If you're going to do it, make sure that you have a plan. Do you need to do it? That I'm going to let you make that decision, right? You don't need it as a reset and as a cleanse. You just need to drink less if that's the reason why. If you're doing it because it's trendy, rethink your relationship with social media and the need to do trendy things. And if you're really doing it because of you feel like you're having an issue with alcohol, then that is something that you really need to seriously consider looking at your relationship with alcohol, because if it's an unhealthy relationship, that's something that you should really get some help with, because that could just lead to all sorts of problems, down the road. And I've seen it, and I don't want that for you. So this is my philosophy on Dry January. Will I be doing Dry January this year? Absolutely not. I am also not a big drinker, so I drink because I enjoy it periodically, but I like my rums, I like my wines, I like my beers. And actually, I would have already ruined it because I was at a brewery yesterday for January 1st. So I already ruined my Dry January. So no, I will not be doing Dry January this year. But if you want help with this, if this is something that you're thinking about, and maybe not even just for Dry January, but any month out of the year, or any week, or quarter, or season, or whatever, get in touch with me. Send me a message. Give me a phone call. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys out. So if you need help, get in touch with me. Set up a consultation. You can do that right on the website as well. You can just book something, and we can go from there. So now, I hope that you found this a bit helpful. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season, and you're optimistic for 2025 and everything that's going to happen in the next 12 months. So if you like this video, then please click the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you want to hear more of what I got to say, then subscribe and turn on notifications, find out when new videos are coming out. And leave me some comments down below. Do you partake in Dry January, so to speak? Is this something that you think is a good idea? Is it something that you think is a terrible idea? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So until we speak again, be well, be safe, and be kind to everybody.